All new at 5:30, Arizona investigators are still filing charges against criminals who stole government money, your taxpayer money, for unemployment during the pandemic.
But a new federal report says states aren't doing enough to claw back taxpayer money from those fraudsters. Steve Nielsen looked into that today to see how many dollars we've recovered so far in Arizona. Steve.
Well, first, let's go back in time. Unemployment, it was a lifeline for hundreds of thousands of Arizonans who lost their jobs during the pandemic. And they got help. But it also exposed the system to criminals who took advantage of this. And now the state's trying to get back that money. At the height of the pandemic, we brought you Marisa Folz's story.
I can't imagine how many people have no idea this has just happened to them.
One of the first identity theft victims of pandemic unemployment fraud, according to the Arizona Department of Economic Security, or DES. Christine Leahy is retired, but she got a tax form in the mail after her identity was stolen as well.
I'm sure that there are probably a lot of people who got that letter in the mail and said, what the heck?
A report at the end of the pandemic found the state gave away $5.8 billion in fraudulent unemployment money.
Unprecedented by far.
Doug Holmes with Strategic Services on Unemployment and Workers' Compensation, which represents the business community, says it takes a long time for states to claw back the money in these investigations.
Not only do you have this issue of identifying who it is that is the fraudster, but then trying to track them down for purposes of prosecution.
A new audit from the U.S. Department of Labor finds state agencies need to do more to recover improper payments. DES responded to that by saying they've now recovered $1.83 billion in fraudulent benefits. They post quarterly convictions of unemployment fraud, saying the state has convicted 900 fraudsters with hundreds more submitted for prosecution. While the state is allowed to continue prosecutions, the federal statute of limitations on pandemic unemployment ended last month. Holmes has petitioned Congress to increase prosecution time to 10 years.
You can still prosecute for regular unemployment common fraud, but you can't prosecute for the other piece that was the federal part that was included in the weekly benefit. That's crazy.
Of the states the U.S. Department of Labor looked at, the percentage of fraud recovered there was in the single digits. In Arizona, the DES numbers show it's closer to 30%. So this state is faring far better than others nationally. Reporting live, Steve Nielsen, Fox 10 News.